All right, so I have today with me Jacob Torville with Young Americans for Liberty, and he works with student groups all across the Midwest to organize students both on campus and to do political activism off campus. And we're going to talk a little bit about what they've been doing in Indiana, as well as just in general, how he keeps students engaged and how to keep students working on important political issues. So, Jacob, do you want to tell us a little bit about what states you have, and then we'll go into what you all have been working on in Indiana?
So, Matt, it's great to be talking to you today. Personally, as a Midwest Regional Director, I coordinate the states of Ohio all the way over to Montana and down south to Kentucky. So, I work with just around 1,200 activists between those states there, and I help to identify them, educate them, and then train them in order to become politically effective and spread the message of liberty.
Share about what different schools you're able to get involved in and how you were able to get students to help out with that effort?
Yeah, so we actually passed constitutional carry in Indiana, which was a huge fight, something that we've been really advocating for a long period of time. In order to pass this, we pulled students from all across Indiana and one or two from outside the actual state. So we had what we call out there our Hazlitt Action Team. It's named after Henry Hazlitt, who was a economist and strong advocate for liberty. So we had our Hazlitt Action Team out there. It was led by a person by the name of Jacob Cantlin Boson, who went to Ivy Tech Community College in Indianapolis. When leading this team, he helped them to knock over 13,000 doors. I believe that they made 73,000 phone calls, and then they directly connected over 7,000 constituents directly to their legislators to let their legislators know that they really did support constitutional carry.
Great.
What this did within the state is, our group of students, our group of young activists were going out, talking directly to legislators and are talking directly to constituents and connecting them to their legislators to make sure that they live up to their promises to their constituents.
And so what will this constitutional carry bill do? What does it change with the law if it goes into effect?
Yeah, so it'll basically stop the government permission slip system that it would take in order to carry a gun. So for example, if somebody would want to have a concealed carry, no longer would they have to go and get a government permission slip in order to do so. Instead, they would be able to conceal carry without any sort of government permission.
And then, so more specifically on campuses, what sort of events do your groups have coming up, and maybe you can just talk generally for people who don't know a lot about Young Americans for Liberty, what some of your key focuses are.
Yeah, so we are currently doing a lot of different projects throughout the Midwest. One of the biggest ones that we've been doing, and it's really in connection to this, is we've been doing a lot of Second Amendment events. We have what we just call our 2A kit. In these kits, we have come and take it flags. We have a lot of informational material on the Second Amendment and on gun statistics. So we can really begin to educate students on campus about gun rights and issues like constitutional carry. A lot of people seem to believe or have the belief that if we institute constitutional carry around the United States, that we're going to see some sort of Wild West. And that's simply not the case. We now have constitutional carry in several states around the U.S., and several of the states in which it's implemented are actually some of the safest states in our nation. So we'll go around, we have conversations with our students, we do tablings on campus, which is where we'll do outreach on the basis of the Second Amendment, and we'll just talk directly to students about the Second Amendment and try to get them involved in our local group so that, we can continue to further the message of liberty, educate and train them within our club, and then eventually hope to get them mobilized so that they can work on issues like this and help to get real legislation like constitutional carry passed in the state of Indiana.
And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about you talk about the Hazlitt Action Team, is that what it's called? There's something called the Hazlitt Coalition that's related to that. I'll post this article in the links on Rumble and YouTube, but we just covered a member of the Hazlitt Coalition in Arizona who was working on campus carry. And can you tell people a little more about that? It's really quite an interesting kind of connection between you all are obviously more student focused, but then there's like in the political realm at state legislatures. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that coalition's about?
Yeah. And in 2018, we decided, we have all of these activists all across the country. We have hundreds of chapters. And these kids really want to, pursue some sort of career in politics. They want to be able to be politically effective and make the real change that they want to see in the world, but we don't currently have an avenue for them to do it. So in 2018, we launched what we called Operation Win at the Door. Now, this is separate from Young Americans for Liberty. It's our political action committee. It's a different arm, so a different legal entity. But essentially, we would go out, we would talk to these kids, talk to the college students, and get them to fill out an application, and then we would send it over to our political action committee. The political action committee would then work and hire these kids onto campaigns, and we would get them to work effectively on these campaigns in order to help get real liberty-minded legislators elected across the country. So when we launched the program in 2018, we had a goal of electing 250 liberty legislators across the country. I believe at this point we either have 182 or 183, and it's all because of the work that our students have done. We're a grassroots organization. That's what we are at our core. And without our students, without the work that they've put in, without the doors that they've knocked, without the phone calls that they've made, without the works that they've done in districts, we wouldn't be able to have this large coalition of legislators. So one of the main reasons constitutional carry passed wasn't even just because of the work that current students are doing. It's because of work students have been doing for the past 5 or 6 years. Whenever we started our Hazlitt coalition, we started getting people elected in Indiana, and Curtin Isley in Indiana is one person who works with Young Americans for Liberty a lot, works with our Hazlitt coalition a lot, and he has been pushing for constitutional carry since 2016. Then in 2020, we got a few more legislators elected, a man by the name of John Jacob, another person, Zach Payne, and Chris Jeter. And they've all been strong advocates for constitutional carry in the state of Indiana. So this is really, this is a student-led effort for years now, which has culminated finally in this policy getting passed. Not only did they put in the work on the ground in order to, knock the doors, make the phone calls in support of the bill, but they also helped to get the people elected who were some of the largest pushers for the bill. Without Curtin Isley, John Jacobs, Zach Payne, and Chris Jeter, it's very much in question whether this bill is ever passed to begin with. So we have our students to thank for that, for the amount of work that they've put in, for the amount of constituents within the state of Indiana that they've talked to. And that's what we are. We're the grassroots organization that believes in implementing real political change. If you would go on our website, it's yaliberty.org. There will be a lot of different information there on how to get in contact with us, how to talk to us. There's several different emails that you can go ahead and reach out to. One of them is contact@yaliberty.org. And if anyone wants to get involved with us, I would highly, highly recommend it. The work that Young Americans for Liberty has done, both in getting students involved on college campuses and in local politics, has done a tremendous amount of good for liberty throughout the United States. Young Americans for Liberty, through the work that our students did, helped to make 88 million people more free across the United States last year. So what we try to teach students is that, they really do have the power. They don't understand how much power they possess sometimes, but if they're taught the right tactics, if they're educated properly on the way that they can implement political change, then students can really do a lot to change the face of America. And that's what we try to teach students how to do, is we try to teach them, the tactics, the skills, and everything else that goes along with it. So I would highly advise anyone to reach out to us, go to our website, yaliberty.org, or go ahead and email us at contact@yaliberty.org. And I would love to have a conversation with you. I know several of our other regional directors or any of my deputies or state chairs within the region would love to have a conversation with how you can get more involved, how students can get more involved, and how we can work together to make liberty win.